Throughout his 45 years of teaching, the Buddha not only left a profound mark on the world, but also built a community of disciples filled with diligence and wisdom, alongside well-known male arahants such as Venerable Sariputta, the greatest in wisdom, Venerable Moggallana, the greatest in supernatural powers, Venerable Mahakassapa, the greatest in asceticism, Venerable Anuruddha, the greatest in divine vision, Venerable Subhuti, the greatest in emptiness, Venerable Puna, the greatest in teaching, Venerable Kakana, the greatest in eloquence, Venerable Upali, the greatest in observance of the precepts, Venerable Ananda, the greatest in learning, and Venerable Rahula, the greatest in secret practices. There were also outstanding female arahants who played a significant role in the development and protection of the Dharma. One of them was Bhikkhuni Khema, honored as the greatest in wisdom among the female disciples. Khema was not only a revered female arahant who attained a high spiritual achievement, but also a symbol of great wisdom in Buddhism with a remarkable and challenging journey of practice. So, how could a royal consort so highly regarded attain arahantship after just one sermon of the Buddha? How could she achieve supreme wisdom in such a short time of practice when she was not yet a fully ordained disciple of the Buddha Gautama? Let us explore the inspiring and miraculous story of Bhikkhuni Khema, the woman who proved that wisdom knows no boundaries and that the path to enlightenment is open to those who truly persevere in their search. Bhikkhuni Khema was born into a royal family in the city of Sagala, within the Magadha kingdom. From the moment she was born until she grew up, Khema had beautiful golden skin, a well-proportioned body like a goddess, and a face as delicate and graceful as a flower. As a result, her parents named her Khema, meaning the beautiful lady. As she matured, Khema married King Bimbisara. She was exceptionally beautiful and became the most favored queen of King Bimbisara. This queen was very proud of her beauty. She always took great pride in her appearance. King Bimbisara was a devout follower of the three jewels, and both the king and his queen Videhi were earnest disciples of the Buddha. They had attained the stream entry, Sotapanna stage, and had a deep understanding of the law of karma and its consequences. They recognized that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent and not self. Although the king adored his queen's enchanting beauty, after learning and understanding the Buddha's teachings, he realized that the queen's physical beauty was like a beautiful flower that attracts bees and butterflies with its fragrance. But over time, that flower will wither and its petals will fall. The king knew that this beauty was fleeting and that true beauty lies in the purity of the heart. When the mind is imbued with the flavor of the Dharma, that fragrance endures and continues to blossom from one life to the next. The king wanted to awaken his queen's delusion and did not want her to remain immersed in her transient beauty. He made many attempts to encourage her to visit the Buddha. However, all of the king's efforts were firmly rejected by the queen. She remained determined that nothing in the world was more valuable than her own beauty. When responding to the king, she coyly said, "Your Majesty, I agree with and believe what you say, that the Blessed One has 32 divine marks and 80 perfect qualities, that he is perfect in all virtues, powers, and wisdom. The world praises him as the teacher of gods and humans, and I have no doubt about that. But to be honest, I do not wish to meet him." When pressed for another reason, why she absolutely refused to visit the Buddha, she replied, "Your Majesty, I have also heard that the Blessed One often speaks disrespectfully of women, sometimes mocking and ridiculing the beauty of women. I have heard many times that he teaches his disciples, "What beauty, what value, what grace. The body is just a bag of skin that contains impurity within, yet women spend their days perfuming and applying cosmetics. Right now, I am very happy with the beauty I have been given, and I am dearly loved by your majesty. I don't wish for anything else. If you still love me, I ask you not to force me to go." Upon hearing these words from his beautiful queen, the king realized her weakness. Anything that opposed her beauty was unacceptable. She avoided visiting the Buddha to avoid hearing remarks about her appearance in front of others, followed by sermons urging renunciation of sensual desires and living a life of simplicity and asceticism. These ideas contradicted her desires, as she was currently living a life of luxury, sitting on a high throne, possessing extraordinary beauty, being adored by the king, and being the center of admiration among the people. At that point, the king refrained from pressuring his queen further and summoned his advisors for counsel. The advisor suggested that the court organize competitions for the creation of poems and songs to praise the Veluvana Grove, a monastery donated by the king to the Buddha and the Sangha. This grove, with its fragrant huts, lecture halls, and many types of bamboo planted in the garden, was named the Bamboo Grove Jungle of bamboo by the Buddha, and became a residence for the Buddha and his monastic community. As a result, many compositions praising the bamboo grove were created, describing it as a charming, delightful, and beautiful place. Anyone who entered this sacred land would feel light, refreshed, and at peace. Soon after, other songs were composed, elevating the bamboo grove to the level of Nadavana, the most beautiful garden in the heavenly realm of Tavatimsa, which was beloved by King Saka Indra, who often visited it with the celestial nymphs. These descriptions beyond imagination became increasingly widespread and were sung by people far and wide, which stirred the curiosity of Queen Khema. However, she still did not wish to visit the bamboo grove. Although Queen Khema did not want to, one day King Bimbisara ordered the queens to accompany him and Queen Videhi to visit the Buddha at the Bamboo Grove Monastery. Upon arriving at the Bamboo Grove, it was just as the praises had described, a lush, refreshing, and peaceful place. The entire space was calm, serene, and tranquil. A gentle joy spread through Queen Khema's heart. King Bimbisara, along with his retinue, proceeded into the hall to pay respects to the Buddha. The Buddha was seated in meditation on a stone platform, exuding both majesty and serene detachment from the world. King Bimbisara, along with the queen and other queens, approached and respectfully bowed to him. The king inquired about the Buddha's well-being and expressed his longing for him, as he had been absent for the past 3 months, and then requested a Dharma talk. While the Buddha was teaching the assembly, he read the mind of Queen Khema and realized that it was time to transform her thoughts. He then used his supernatural powers to manifest the image of a stunning celestial maiden standing by him, fanning him. Upon seeing this celestial maiden, Queen Khema was stunned and amazed. She had never expected to see such a breathtaking beauty standing beside the Buddha. Until now, she had thought that she alone was the most beautiful, even more so than the chief queen. But today, compared to the celestial maiden's beauty, her own beauty seemed no more than the flickering light of fireflies on a dark night. The celestial maiden shone as brilliantly as the full moon that lights up the sky. Khema silently thought to herself, I have never seen such a stunning beauty before. Compared to her, I am truly ugly. Queen Khema turned to her maid beside her and said, Look at the girl standing next to the Buddha. Oh, where did she come from to be so unbelievably beautiful? The maid, equally surprised, replied, Your Majesty, I only see the Buddha, no one else. Queen Khema was astonished by what the maid said. She fixed her gaze on the maiden and wondered, She is so beautiful, like an angel, yet no one else sees her. The Buddha has often spoken of the body as something to be discarded, yet here stands a stunning beauty next to him. It seems he does not despise beauty, as the rumors claim. The queen's pride, shaken by the divine beauty of the celestial maiden, seemed to soften, and it appeared as though she was humbling herself, conceding defeat. Queen Khema carefully watched every delicate movement of the celestial maiden fanning the Buddha. Her smooth rosy cheeks, sparkling eyes, shiny flowing hair, and the sweet pouting lips, half smiling, revealing a row of pearly white teeth, like jade half pursed in a cute, tender gesture, were truly enchanting. The time was just enough for Queen Khema to become completely captivated by the youthful beauty of the celestial maiden. The Buddha then continued to transform the image of the maiden, starting as a youthful girl, gradually turning into a middle-aged woman, and then into an old, hunched, wrinkled figure with sunken cheeks and dark lips. Her once bright and sparkling eyes now appeared dull and cloudy. The once pearl-like white teeth were now gone, leaving only a few sharp yellowed ones sticking out with saliva dripping from the corners of her mouth, a truly disgusting sight. Her smooth, radiant skin was now wrinkled and gray. The lustrous black hair had now thinned, leaving only a few strands of silver on the wrinkled scalp. Finally, the frail, weak, and ugly body collapsed and writhed in pain on the ground, eventually dying at the Buddha's feet. Not only that, but the body rapidly bloated, decayed, and turned to mush, leaving only dry bones. Those bones, too, crumbled into dust, flying away into the void. Seeing this scene, Khema was filled with fear and terror, her whole body trembling. She thought to herself, Oh, how a beautiful and youthful form before me can deteriorate and disappear so quickly like this. My own body will not escape this fate. Oh, how horrifying. The Buddha, seeing that Queen Khema had understood the lesson of impermanence, spoke to her in a calm but resolute voice. Khema, this body is temporary and impermanent. It is inevitable that birth, aging, sickness, and death will come. This body is impure, merely a beautiful skin bag that contains impurities and filth within. Only the deluded would cling to such a body. In that moment, Queen Khema's face suddenly brightened, and the sky of truth opened magnificently in her mind. With utmost reverence for the three jewels, she clasped her hands in devotion, bowed down, and tearfully said to the Buddha, Lord, I have seen the Dharma. I have realized the Dharma. Everything that is born must also die. Knowing that the queen had attained the stream entry Sotapanna state, the Buddha gently continued, Khema, those who are attached to sensual desires are like flies caught in a spider's web. They endure suffering and bondage, and eventually they will perish. Only those with supreme wisdom who have eradicated attachment can achieve perfect liberation and attain the highest happiness. As soon as the Buddha finished speaking, Queen Khema's entire body shook and emitted a miraculous light. At that moment, Queen Khema, attained the state of arahant. King Bimbisara, the queen's maidservants, attendants, laypeople, and even the monks who witnessed this were all astonished and could hardly believe that what they were seeing was true. At that moment, the Buddha spoke, confirming, King Bhimbisara Khema has attained liberation. She can either live the monastic life or enter nirvana, but she can no longer live in the worldly life. Upon hearing the Buddha's declaration, King Bimbisara was stunned. He immediately knelt down, deeply moved, and pleaded, Please, Lord, do not allow the queen to enter nirvana yet. Please allow her to ordain and become part of your monastic community. The assembly began to murmur, confused and unsure of how Queen Khema, who had never practiced before and had only reluctantly accompanied the king to listen to the Dharma, could attain such an ultimate state of liberation. Queen Khema did not attain arahantship easily just because she was fortunate to meet the Buddha Gautama, as many people might think. Rather, she had a deep karmic connection with the Dharma across many past lives. In each life, she practiced generosity diligently, practiced meditation and wisdom, and upheld moral precepts. She had been assured by the Buddha Padumuttara in a past life that one day she would attain full enlightenment and become a highly wise bhikkhuni. Now, with the right conditions, the Buddha Gautama, using his supernatural powers, revealed the cycle of birth and death to her, showing her the impermanence of human life, and planted the seed of wisdom in her mind. Khema's deep spiritual roots from the time of Buddha Padumuttara, as well as her practices in past lives, enabled her to fulfill her great vow in an instant in this present life. The story of Queen Khema's past lives is as follows. 100,000 eons ago, during the time of Buddha Padumuttara Khema, was born as a servant girl for a household in the city of Hamsavati. Her life was very poor and difficult, but she was extraordinarily beautiful, especially her long hair, which reached down to her ankles. One day, she encountered Elder Sujata, a great disciple of Buddha Padumuttara, who was leisurely going on his alms round. She developed a pure faith, but having no money, she only had a few coins enough to buy a sweet cake. With great respect, she bowed and placed the cake in his alms bowl. Seeing her pure heart, Elder Sujata suggested, The offering of the cake may be small, but your pure faith and sincere devotion are truly precious. Do you have any wish? Asked Elder Sujata. I am of low status. How could I dare to make any wish? I only hope that in some future life, I will have the opportunity to live as a nun, free and light like you, she replied. Elder Sujata encouraged her, saying, A good opportunity will come, and you will have your wish fulfilled. Encouraged by his words, she continued to joyfully offer her humble gifts whenever the opportunity arose, never tiring, despite the modest offerings. During one offering ceremony to the Buddha and the Sangha, attended by king's officials, merchants, and millionaires, people rushed to prepare food, medicine, and many other offerings. Seeing this, she felt deeply disheartened, as she had nothing valuable to offer the Buddha and the Sangha on this occasion. Then she remembered her rare and beautiful hair. She went to a hair shop and sold her hair for a small amount of money. With that, she quickly purchased offerings to join in the communal almsgiving with everyone. With his divine eye and the power of thought reading, Buddha Padumuttara understood her pure heart. On that day, he did not stop at the wealth and opulence offered by the king's ministers or the millionaires and merchants, but instead went directly to the humble offerings of the young girl. He laid his robes on the ground and sat down to receive alms right there. The girl knelt, joined her hands in reverence, and tears of gratitude flowed from her eyes. The Buddha then asked her, "What is your wish?" She made her wish known. "I hope to become a bhikkhuni who attains wisdom." Buddha Padumuttara then prophesied that she would indeed fulfill her wish. After that life, due to her pure heart and the powerful blessings, the girl was reborn and cyclically moved through the realms of gods and humans, always becoming the queen or consort of heavenly kings and the universal monarchs, living a life of happiness. It is said that during the time of Buddha Vipassi, 91 eons ago, Khema was an extraordinary bhikkhuni teacher. In the era of the three Buddhas before Gautama, namely Buddha Kakusanda, Konagamana, and Kassapa, Khema was a wealthy laywoman who dedicated her life to building many monasteries for the monastic community. In every age, whenever a Buddha arises, even when sentient beings are immersed in worldly attachments, wandering through the 6 realms of existence in the cycle of samsara, Khema always sought to approach the source of wisdom by cultivating virtues, doing good deeds, avoiding wrongdoings, and purifying her mind. Particularly during the time of Buddha Kassapa, she was known as Samani, the crown princess, the daughter of King Kiki of Kasi from the city of Varanasi. She earnestly requested ordination, but her father and mother did not agree. However, due to her deep karmic connection from many past lives, the crown princess and her younger sisters frequently listened to the Dharma, lived virtuously and tirelessly engaged in acts of charity. In cycles without a Buddha, Khema was reborn during the time of solitary Buddhas, or in regions close to Bodhisattvas, who were the previous lives of Buddha Gautama. The Jataka tales, specifically in story 354, recounts one of Khema's lives in which she was the wife of the Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva encouraged everyone in the family that if they wanted to live harmoniously and happily, they should give what you can practice generosity, uphold the precepts, contemplate death, and reflect on birth and decay. For in the situation of sentient beings like us, life is uncertain, but death is certain. All conditioned phenomena must decay and die. Be diligent and mindful day and night. And Khema, following her husband's advice, lived in this way. In conclusion, due to her well-developed spiritual roots over countless past lives, when she first encountered the Buddha at the Bamboo Grove Monastery, it took only a moment after the Buddha awakened her mind to the impermanence and non-self of the human body with its beautiful heavenly appearance, that in an instant deteriorates and disappears into the void for her to attain the absolute truth and the sublime state of arahantship. Afterward, Queen Khema was ordained by the Venerable Yasodhara. On the day Khema cut off her long flowing hair and replaced her splendid royal garments with the simple worn robes of a nun, removing her golden jewelry to wear the plain robes of a bhikkhuni, she officially joined the monastic community. It was on that day that Venerable Khema began a new sacred life with the countless virtuous vows of a great arahant. The arahants are those who have attained the ultimate liberating wisdom, encompassing the entire Dharma realm. Each arahant has their own superior qualities and follows the path in their own unique way. Venerable Khema is called the foremost in wisdom because she had the ability to understand everything within the 3 realms. Through her deep understanding of the Buddha's profound teachings and her mastery of the ability to read minds, Thadamanthona, she could grasp the nature of the people she encountered. The Buddha's teachings through her helped beings comprehend and accept the most subtle aspects of the Dharma. She skillfully used metaphors to explain abstract and difficult concepts, allowing many beings to be moved and joyfully follow the righteous path. The Buddha praised her, saying, "Among all the female disciples of the Tathagata, the one with the greatest wisdom is Bhikkhuni Khema." A story illustrating the supreme wisdom of Venerable Khema is recorded in the Samyutta Nikaya Sutta 44, where King Pasenadi of Kosala engages in a Dharma discussion with her. One day, King Pasenadi of Kosala, while traveling, stopped for the night in the village of Toranavatu. On this occasion, the king sent a servant to find a wise ascetic or Brahmin in the area to ask for a Dharma talk. The servant searched throughout Toranavatu, but could not find any ascetics or Brahmins. The servant returned and reported to the king, "Your Majesty, there is no ascetic or Brahmin here to meet with. However, it is known that there is a bhikkhuni, a disciple of the Tathagata, residing in the area. She is Venerable Khema, renowned for her profound wisdom in the study and practice of the Dharma, as well as being an eloquent scholar. Your Majesty may wish to meet her." The king went to meet her. After paying respects to Venerable Khema, the king asked 4 questions regarding the state of the Buddha after his passing. The conversation unfolded as follows. "Venerable Lady, does the Tathagata exist after death?" "Your Majesty, the Tathagata did not answer. The Tathagata exists after death." "Then, Venerable Lady, does the Tathagata not exist after death?" "Your Majesty, the Tathagata also did not answer. The Tathagata does not exist after death." "Venerable Lady, does the Tathagata both exist and not exist after death?" "Your Majesty, the Tathagata did not answer. The Tathagata both exists and does not exist after death." "Then, Venerable Lady, does the Tathagata neither exist nor not exist after death?" "Your Majesty, that is also the case. The Tathagata did not answer. The Tathagata neither exists nor does not exist after death." Venerable Khema responded calmly and succinctly because she understood that the Buddha did not want sentient beings to get entangled in mystical questions. Debating such questions only exhausts the body and mind, causing confusion and frustration, and provides no benefit for the practice of liberation from the cycle of suffering. However, the king continued to ask, "Venerable Lady, what is the reason that the Tathagata did not answer the 4 questions?" Venerable Khema looked at the king with compassion. She knew that if the king continued to cling to these questions, trying to find the ultimate answers, he would fall into stubbornness and wrong views. The path to liberation and enlightenment is one of self-practice and self-realization. It is like someone drinking water, whether it is hot or cold, only that person knows, and no one else can explain it in a way others can understand. With compassion, she wished to help the king free his mind from these confusions. She first asked King Pasenadi, "Your Majesty, what do you think? If there were a brilliant mathematician or an expert statistician, could they estimate how many grains of sand there are at the bottom of the Ganges River, or how many liters of water are in the ocean?" The king answered, "This is certainly impossible, as the grains of sand in the Ganges are countless and cannot be counted or estimated, and the ocean is vast and deep. How can one measure its depths?" Now, Venerable Khema explained further. Similarly, the Tathagata is fully enlightened. He is like the vast, boundless ocean. He transcends all finite measurements of the world. If anyone wishes to understand the Tathagata through form, feeling, perception, volition, or consciousness, they will soon reach an impasse because the Tathagata has transcended the five aggregates, like cutting off the roots of a sala tree, preventing it from sprouting again in the future. Therefore, the true essence of the Tathagata cannot be found or perceived through these attributes of name and form. If anyone says that the Tathagata exists or does not exist, or both exists and does not exist, or neither exists nor does not exist, after entering nirvana, this is not the correct understanding. The king was delighted and accepted the profound explanation from Venerable Khema. He bowed to her and then left. Sometime later, King Pasenadi had the opportunity to pay respects to the Buddha. The king also requested that the Buddha answer the 4 questions. The Buddha's answers were identical in both wording and meaning to those of Venerable Khema. This greatly surprised King Pasenadi. He then recounted his conversation with Venerable Khema to the Buddha and praised the great wisdom of the venerable female disciple in the Buddha's Sangha. The scriptures record that the Mara, the evil one, often appeared to tempt and disturb the disciples of the Buddha. Even the noble Bhikkhuni Khema was not exempt from this. The Theragatha recounts a story between Mara and the noble Khema. In essence, on a beautiful morning, a young man with a refined appearance, a handsome face, and wearing elegant clothes sat under a tree, not far from Venerable Khema. He held a lute in his hand, and his eyes were half closed, as his fingers lightly strummed the strings, playing a seductive tune. After finishing a melody, he approached Venerable Khema, and with a charming voice spoke, "Hello, young beautiful nun, like a spring flower in full bloom. I am full of youthful vitality. Why don't we enjoy life together and indulge in pleasure? Come, lovely one, let us fly together, exploring the world and satisfying our desires." With her pure wisdom, Khema immediately recognized that this was Mara in disguise. His face appeared fierce and menacing, his eyes glowing with intense desire. Venerable Khema calmly responded, "Foul Mara, stop your tempting calls. I have long grown weary of this fragile, impure body full of sickness. My mind has uprooted the tree of sensual desire. Sensual desire is like a sharp sword piercing through the 5 aggregates of the body, causing pain to both body and mind. What you call pleasure holds no joy for me. Go into the forests and mountains and seek out the ascetics who worship the sun, moon, and fire deities. They are deluded and stubborn, believing they are purified and are under your control. As for me, never. I am a disciple of the Buddha, the fully enlightened one, the greatest teacher in all realms. His Dharma is like the sun, breaking through the darkness of ignorance and attachment, leading beings out of the cycle of suffering. I have eradicated all defilements and am beyond the control of the 5 Mara, including you. Foul Mara, dissolve into darkness." Knowing that he had been defeated, Mara angrily howled and vanished. The surroundings remained quiet, as if nothing had happened. Venerable Khema continued to sit peacefully in the lotus posture, calm and serene, fully at ease. To become a great bhikkhuni, the foremost in wisdom in the monastic community of the Buddha Venerable Khema, went through hundreds of thousands of lifetimes, practicing and following the teachings of the Buddhas. Ultimately, her path was one of generosity, meditation, wisdom, and purification of the body and mind. In many lifetimes, she was born in the same era as the Buddhas, and holy monks directly encouraged and inspired by them to practice the Dharma. In the cycles where she did not meet a Buddha, she was close to solitary Buddhas or Bodhisattvas who were the past lives of Buddha Gautama. In every lifetime, she was persistent in her practice, accumulating great merit and virtue. By the time of Buddha Gautama, her vast spiritual merits bore fruit, and she attained the noble state of arahant. Afterward, the Buddha entrusted her with the responsibility of teaching the female monastic community. Although she had already attained arahantship, she continued to diligently practice to deepen her wisdom further. From her profound wisdom, she explained the deep teachings of the Dharma, in detail dispelling all deluded and wrong views. She guided countless beings to the right path and left behind a noble lesson about the impermanence of the body and the dangers of sensual attachment. Her life was a magnificent journey of wisdom, perseverance, and compassion. She was not only a woman of exceptional wisdom in the female monastic community, but also a living testament to the valuable lessons we can learn from her. Khema demonstrated that wisdom is not a gift, but the result of an ongoing path of practice. Her story is a lesson in persistence, effort, and self-control. Despite being born into a royal family living in power and beauty, she realized that transient things cannot bring lasting peace. True happiness does not come from external things, but from a deep understanding of the impermanent nature of life. In today's world, we are often easily caught up in the cycles of work, materialism, and relationships. But like Khema, we need to learn to return to ourselves, seeking inner peace rather than happiness in external things. Persevering in self-improvement, no matter the difficulties or challenges, is the only true path to attaining lasting peace. The second important lesson we can learn from Khema is about letting go of the ego, renouncing attachment to self, and overcoming misconceptions about who we are. It was in the moment when she realized that beauty and material possessions are fleeting that she gave up everything to pursue the path of enlightenment. This renunciation was not a failure, but rather a significant shift in her journey to master her mind and attain noble wisdom. In a society that constantly promotes self-esteem and material standards, we often forget that true happiness comes from letting go of biases and attachments to our self-image. We must learn to recognize that everything is impermanent, and it is through letting go that we find freedom within our hearts. When we are no longer burdened by the ego, we will experience life with greater lightness and peace. Finally, Khema teaches us that happiness is not something to be sought externally, but is the realization of sufficiency in each present moment. Enlightenment comes from understanding our true nature, and once we achieve this, we will find a deep happiness and peace. In our busy lives, it is easy to forget that happiness does not come from material achievements or external circumstances, but from understanding and living fully in each moment. We should learn to pause, take a deep breath, and feel the peace within ourselves, even in difficult situations. Thank you for exploring the life and wisdom of Bhikkhuni Khema with us. Reflect on the lessons she has taught and apply them in your life to find peace in each present moment. Share your thoughts in the comments below this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to continue accompanying us on the journey toward enlightenment and happiness.